Well, so much for Matt Moore's number being pulled here to start the bottom of the 6th inning. He is making his 3rd plate appearance of the night, and why not? He's been in command for most of the evening, having allowed just the 2 runs on 2 hits. This go-ahead hit, the first by a Giant pitcher in a postseason game since 1933, kids. Between the Giants and Cubs, some of these historicals that we're taking note of, you know, they predate just about all of us. And Moore playing with house money, swings and misses. There's one away for Wood.
Well, Statcast, powered by Amazon Web Services, is going to talk about how far he had to come. And I thought it was a long ways, and 68 feet is a long way. And at this point, once Fowler decided not to make a decision, he was going to be done either way, in my opinion. A tough read, but more importantly, Pence come flying in 68 feet. Takes a hit away, and a potential huge inning for the Cubs with runners on first and second, nobody out. Matt Moore was able to put a 0 up after that.
Here's Denard Span now. We got to do a Statcast powered by Amazon Web Services on Hunter Pence's hair.
Well, I can tell you this, that's US Open rough. If you drop a golf ball in there, you're not getting it out.
0-2 the count to Span. Justin Grimm worked a 3rd of an inning. Gave up 2 earned runs on 2 hits. Wood came on to finish the 5th, working here with 1 away in the 6th. You know, we talked about how good the Cubs bullpen had been against the Giants all year, dating back to the regular season. Unscored upon against San Francisco, but it's been a little different story the last couple nights. And it's 2-2 to Denard Span now. Well, from behind in the count to a full count now. Denard Span has worked it back to 3-2. Span has been a really tough out the last couple of nights. Brandon Belt waiting on deck, hitless this evening. There is still a lot of time in this one, make no mistake. But you start thinking in the back of your mind a little bit more and more about a game 5 in this series. It would be Thursday at Wrigley Field. We do know the Dodgers and Nationals need a game 5 Thursday in DC. Both of those games here on FS1. The ALCS begins Friday on TBS at 8 Eastern.
Well, you see that man right there? He would prefer to pitch game 1, no doubt, of the next series. And so his thoughts, having been there many different times, you're sitting there, you can't pour too much into the game emotionally. You certainly want your team to win, but you got to prepare as if you're going to pitch the game 5, and that's the way it looked like right now. On the other side, Johnny Cueto is all bubbles and giggles and can't wait to pitch a game 5 because it didn't look like that was going to be a reality once they came to San Francisco. So 2 different emotions by 2 different pitchers.
And Span's come looking.
Yeah, this is just a perfect pitch on the corner. Spotted up. Nothing Span can do.
Well, if it gets to Thursday, it would be Johnny Cueto against John Lester, Part 2. Their first one was a beauty. Game 1 of this series, and it was the Javi Baez home run that was the difference. Brandon Belt with a drive into the opposite field for Ben Zobrist, and the side's retired in order for the first time by a Cub pitcher.
My father was concerned that I might be taken advantage of, so he arranged for me to train with specialists.
He works for drug cartels, assassins. He's evaded every government agency.
He's a criminal.
Only when someone breaks his moral code, we should go.
Who are you?
The Accountant, rated R.
They keep saying that revenue raised from Proposition V would go towards health programs. But have you seen the fine print? The truth is, it's all headed straight for the general fund. Politicians will be able to spend it however they choose. We shouldn't have to pay a grocery tax when politicians won't even commit to where our money will go. I'm voting no on Proposition V. Enough is enough. For more information, go to don'ttaxourgroceries.com.
Stop. With that box, you'll be the first to win PlayStation VR. Player 1. Soon, it spreads like wildfire. Humanity becomes so plugged in, we never see them coming. That's why I was sent back to stop you.
Oh, hey, I won.
Right.
The future of gaming starts at Taco Bell. Grab any $5 box and you can be one of the first to win PlayStation VR.
Meet the new face of late night sports talk, Katie Nolan.
It's my show. If you weren't paying attention, you're paying attention now.
Garbage Time with Katie Nolan on FS1.
My friend Tim, he drives a truck. Dating online, he's had no luck. Needs a country girl who understands. Jenny is tired of being alone. Works in her garden, stays at home. Just wants someone to hold her hand. You don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com.
Are you ready to lead armies to victory?
To build a nation and make it prosper like no other.
To create alliances and break them. Are you ready to rule the world?
March of Empires. Start for free now.
Bud Light game summary as we start the 7th. David Ross hit a home run, the oldest as a Cub to hit one in the postseason. But other than that, the highlights have belonged to the Giants. Matt Moore has been terrific tonight. Once again, the left-handed hitting duo of Conor Gillaspie and Joe Panik have been right in the middle of the offensive attack for San Francisco. 5-2 Giants starting the 7th. Addison Russell opens. Jason Hayward and Javi Baez follow as the Cubs are down to their last 9 outs tonight. A high pop just outside the cutout.
Well, to me, this whole game was set up by the game plan of Matt Moore in the first inning. 11 fastballs and 12 off speed. Now that might not seem like much, but that's typically not what he does. And so against this aggressive fastball hitting Cubs lineup, he was able to set the tone the way he wanted to, mixing and matching, and he's done it brilliantly all night long.
Jason Hayward is hitless tonight. Boy, the Cubs' middle of the order has really been stymied by San Francisco pitching in this series. The 3 for 6 hitters for Chicago, 5 for 59. You know, should the Cubs fail to come back tonight, they can take some solace in knowing that after the All-Star break this year, they never lost 3 straight games. A ball and 2 strikes to Hayward.
5-game series, love them, hate them, like them, whatever your view is. It's such a mental challenge for the players. You feel great up 2-0. You just know you got to win 1 game. And then a night like last night unfolds.
And Hayward goes fishing. Can't catch up to it. Another strikeout for Matt Moore.
And
8 for the San Francisco left-hander tonight.
Yeah, great job with the curveball, the off-speed pitches. You see the grip right there and the break. Hayward can't lay off of it, respecting the fastballs.
So it's 2 gone and the base is empty now. It'll be Javier Baez for a 3rd time.
The point I was going to make, in the regular season, you'd never adjust your lineup based on 3 games. But in the postseason, you have so many scenarios that play out and get magnified. You almost wonder if you are forced to try to get your hotter guys up, and a Baez up in the lineup.
On the ground for Crawford. And last year's Gold Glove Award winner at National League shortstop puts the finishing touches on a 1-2-3. Matt Moore authored 7th.
Remain in your home to hear an exciting bundle offer. All contracts are binding. You must comply.
We got a runner.
Hey! Follow me!
Better TV starts now.
PlayStation.
K&N high-flow air filters, designed to increase horsepower with up to 50% more airflow.
Hey, Evan. So, you're stuck at a work thing. With DirecTV and AT&T, you can stream all your favorite shows without using your data. That makes you more powerful than a table for 60.
Wednesdays are the new Thursdays.
Or the mandatory after party.
How early is too early to leave?
You're not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
It's your TV. Take it with you. Watch all your live channels on your devices data-free.
That right there is as good as it gets. Nobody can do it any better.
The home run derby is broken out here in Cleveland. Another home run for the Blue Jays. Moving on to the
ALCS. We asked a group of young people when they thought they should start saving for retirement. Then we asked some older people when they actually did start saving. This gap between when we should start saving and when we actually do is one of the reasons why too many of us aren't prepared for retirement.
Just start as early as you can. It's going to pay off in the future.
If we all start saving a little more today, we'll all be better prepared tomorrow.
Prudential. Bring your challenges.
Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, and Brandon Crawford against a new pitcher for Chicago. Right-hander Carl Edwards Jr. was the only Cub reliever that did not get into the game yesterday. 2 stints with the big league club this year, performed very well down the stretch. Posey has walked and driven in a run tonight. Giants by 3. Chicago is 6 outs away from facing a Game 5 back at Wrigley Field on Thursday. There is something about this elimination game magic in San Francisco. Madison Bumgarner had put this team on his back on so many postseason occasions. It was the Giants that picked him up after a shaky start yesterday. You know, back in 2012, when San Francisco came back from an 0-2 deficit in the division series against the Reds, and all this elimination game madness started. It was a Game 3 extra innings win, just like last night. In Game 4, Ryan Vogelsong got the win, and I'm not sure there was a lot of confidence around him back then. But another great play by Baez. And then in Game 5 of that 2012 comeback, Buster Posey hit a grand slam. Threw up me back inside, and there are some parallels between the way this Game 3 and 4 have gone in 2016 and what happened 4 years ago. Most notably the extra innings win that happened last night. You know, Matt Moore got the ball in Game 4, and as good as he was in spurts this year, he's not Madison Bumgarner, he's not Jake Arrieta, but he's been brilliant tonight. There are a lot of parallels here.
Well, there is, and I think Joe Madden has prepared his team for this journey, right? I mean, everything that San Francisco is what the Cubs want to be. And he's embraced the target slogan because they've had the target since they got off to that hot start. And now San Francisco's imposing their will in games that you just mentioned don't make sense to the rest of the world, because you're not supposed to have this kind of success when there's that much pressure and not that much room for error.
A ball with no strikes to Hunter Pence. At what point tonight did John Lester start thinking about Thursday?
Oh, as soon as, I mean, he's been thinking about Thursday after last night with the possibility, but once they took the 2-run lead, now 3-run lead, you can't help but think about it. You sit there and you try to engage in normal teammate duties, but you start processing, at least some people do, start processing the opportunity of what Game 5 is going to be.
The 2-1 pitch to Pence is slapped to second base, and there are 2 away. A reminder, tonight's telecast is sponsored by AT&T, mobilizing your world, and by Coors Banquet. That's how it's done. Two gone, bases empty, last of the 7th. Guy's been in the goat mask the entire night, John. I don't know that he's had a bite to eat or a sip to drink, and I'm assuming it's a he. We don't know.
I don't know why. I just saw it earlier and laughed then, saw it again, laughing again.
Crawford has doubled and scored tonight. San Francisco Zoo has the Giants to thank for a great deal of its merchandise sales. With the panda here for many years, the baby giraffe, the nickname bestowed upon Brandon Belt. Crazy Crab has been dead for a long time, but other animals live on. And the Cub fans, as has been the case these last number of years, always traveling well. Cultivating the Drew Carey look tonight. Two-one from Edwards to Crawford. That's a fair ball, playable, and David Ross is quick to jump on it and tag Crawford out. Edwards gets through the Giants in order. Cubs down to their last 6 outs tonight. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Chicago trailing by 3.
I don't want to live with the uncertainties of Hep C. or wonder whether I should seek treatment.
I am ready.
Because today, there's Harvoni, a revolutionary treatment for the most common type of chronic hepatitis C. Harvoni is proven to cure up to 99% of patients who've had no prior treatment. It transformed treatment as the first cure that's one pill once a day for 12 weeks. Certain patients can be cured with just 8 weeks of Harvoni. Harvoni is a simple treatment regimen that's been prescribed to more than 250,000 patients. Tell your doctor if you've had a liver transplant, other liver or kidney problems, HIV, or any other medical conditions, and about all the medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Harvoni may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects of Harvoni may include tiredness, headache, and weakness.
I am ready to put Hep C behind me.
I am ready to be cured.
Are you ready? Ask your Hep C specialist if Harvoni is right for you.
Okay, anyone like coming in first place in everything that matters? Introducing the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty, the only high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body heavy-duty pickup. It takes first place in every measure of tough. Best-in-class towing, best-in-class payload, best-in-class horsepower, and best-in-class torque. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. This is the next level. This is the Ford Super Duty.
Sorry, Ariana. You gotta go.
Seriously?
Verizon limits me and I gotta get home.
You're gonna choose navigation over me?
Maps, get up here.
That way.
Girl, you better get on T-Mobile.
Why pay more for data limits? Introducing T-Mobile One. Unlimited data for everyone. Get 4 lines, just $35 a month.
Where does beer get all its colors? Let's spin the wheel of malt. The more you roast malt, the darker beer gets. Pale malt makes, well, pale beer with a mild honey taste. Next spin, gently roasted malt. That adds caramel color and flavor. One more, dark malt makes dark beer with chocolate or coffee notes. Sam Adams brews 60 beers from dark to light. And the sweet spot in the middle, Boston Lager. For the love of beer.
T-Mobile One lets MLB fans dig into the game with unlimited data on their smartphones. Show us how you're a baseball fan by using #UnlimitedBaseball for a free MLB Shop gift code and the chance to win tickets to every 2017 World Series game. David Ross leads things off in the Cubs half of the 8th. Ross the pitcher's spot, and then top of the order Dexter Fowler. David has driven in both of Chicago's runs tonight with a solo home run in the 3rd, a sac fly in the 5th. Just 2 runs on 2 hits for Chicago tonight as Ross takes a strike. And Matt Moore has been the biggest problem tonight. In fact, the last Giants pitcher not named Bumgarner to go 7 or more with 2 runs or less and win a postseason game was Barry Zito back in 2012. This was the whole idea for the Giants in spending the money to go get Johnny Cueto, spending the money to go get Jeff Samardzija, and then the deal that brought Matt Moore in at the deadline. A starting pitching supporting cast for Madison Bumgarner. To Ross.
Well, the formula is pretty simple for the Giants. They were riding their starters all year, so why not continue to do that? And in Game 5, as you saw the shot of Bumgarner, will he be available out of the pen? Similar to his World Series magic.
9 strikeouts for Matt Moore tonight.
The breaking ball. He has really been on point most of the night with all of his pitches, mixing them up great. Him and Posey, what a game plan so far.
The pinch hitter is Jorge Soler.
And the beauty about pitching is if you think a guy's trying to jump your fastball, you don't throw him a fastball. You do that. And you start playing with the head of the lineup of the Chicago Cubs and feasting off the guys who are aggressive and making those pitches accordingly. No need for anybody to get macho at any time of the year and say, I trust my fastball and I'm going to throw it till you hit it. That game plan will get you in trouble, especially with the Cubs.
Soler with a swing and a drive out to left field, playable for Blanco, shy of the track. Chicago is down to its final 4 outs tonight. You know, thinking back to yesterday as Dexter Fowler digs in now, Cubs were 6 outs away from cutting off the head, killing it with a sweep. I think back to last year's American League Division Series between Houston and Kansas City when the Astros were 4 outs away from finishing off the Royals. Not only got past Houston, but went on to win a World Series title.
Why in this game, unlike football, you can't really play it so much on the emotion. In other words, the emotion of that 3-run homer in the second inning yesterday was so incredible. As you saw their dugout, you could sense the thought of, we just got a 3-run homer out of Arrieta. He's on the mound. We're beating Bumgarner, and we're going home. And then not to mention, we've got 102, 3-mile-an-hour closer out of the game. You can fast track things, and my point is they didn't take advantage yesterday of the opportunity to get more runs when it was there, and the Giants did a great job of keeping it there.
Full count to Fowler, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid, the SUV that dares to go beyond utility. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Remember, here at Ally, nothing stops us from doing right by our customers. Who's with me?
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
One, two, wait. Wait, where's Tina?
You doing the hand thing?
Yep.
We're all in for our customers. Ally, do it right.
I overpack, but my guy knows what to bring. Like Viagra single packs for ED.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex.
Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
There are some voices that can't be ignored.
You come at the king, you best not miss.
It's time to grow up.
Culture of winning matters.
We're watching a revolution.
Speak for yourself. All new tomorrow at 5 Eastern on FS1.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Well, a lot of Cub fans are already trying to book return airfare back to Wrigley for what would be a Game 5 on Thursday. Chicago still has 3 outs to try to say something about a 3-run deficit tonight. Last of the 8th, and another pitching change for Joe Madden as right-hander Hector Rondon takes over to face the 6, 7, 8 part of the Giants order.
Rondon came in and obviously only faced one guy last night before Chapman came in. You see Soler in right field and Hayward now playing center. But a good opportunity to get Rondon some action here in inning.
Another base hit for Conor Gillaspie. Make him 4 for 4 tonight. And Conor Gillaspie still has a look on his face that would imply he's trying to make the roster. Kenny, we talked about his journey back to the Giants earlier tonight. What a chapter he has written in Game 4 this evening.
Yet another one. Juris Familia, Aroldis Chapman, and now 4 hits. Matt, that face you just talked about, that's his game face, and it's always on. It's on 3.5 hours before the game. He's a serious guy, and you can understand why. He's been through a lot.
This single sets up Joe Panik with nobody out here in the 8th. A lot of folks back in Chicago have written about the ex-White Sox factor as though it's some mythical thing that's going to at some point cost the Cubs. And a called strike 3 taken by Panik. Garbage Time with Katie Nolan has been called epic, witty, and refreshing, and the future of sports TV. Don't miss an all-new episode of the Emmy-winning sensation tonight after baseball right here on FS1. One out, one on now for Gregor Blanco. And we do know this about the 4 for 4 game that Conor Gillaspie has put together tonight against a variety of Cubs pitching. It's the first 4-hit game by a Giant player in a postseason since Pablo Sandoval's memorable 3-home run opener, Game 1 of the 2012 World Series against Detroit. I mean, those were 3 home runs, and Sandoval added another hit. These are 4 singles, but you get the idea. They don't come around very often for any franchise. 4-hit postseason games.
You almost feel like he checked himself in with the wild card, but he really became a Giant to this home base last night off of Chapman, which shocked everybody. Of course, the 4 hits now icing on the cake, but you wonder if Matt Moore just became a Giant tonight in the fan base of what they were hoping he could provide for them. And turn it over to Johnny Cueto with 3 new starters on this staff.
Quick throw into first. Gillaspie's back.
It's interesting, the Giants were trying to get Zach Greinke. They were also trying to get a couple years ago John Lester.
Yep.
But what they ended up doing for me is getting 2 pitchers for the price of 1 they were trying to get in Zach Greinke. Of course, he went on to the Diamondbacks. I would think everybody's happy with the results right now.
Well, the Giants and Cubs have been in play the past couple of off seasons for a lot of the same big name, big money free agents. Ben Zobrist prior to this year. John Lester prior to 2015. Not to be outdone, Theo Epstein and his staff, and we talked about it more during games 1 and 2 of this series. They have put together a fantastic roster. They'll flip to second base, and with the quick hands of Javi Baez, the double play ends the last of the 8th. Bryant, Rizzo, and Zobrist, the last chance for the Cubs tonight. It's been the streak that's had the better of the curse.
You sound like a man who is afraid that I am dead right.
You talk about the Cowboys and the Patriots like they're like your kids. What am I missing?
This is the place to be.
But you won't listen.
I do not hate LeBron James. In fact, I like him. I don't like it.
I love it.
That's the hottest seat in sports media. This is undisputed.
What? Is he gone? Finally! I thought he'd never leave.
Why are you texting my man at 2 a.m.?
If you want someone to leave you alone, you pretend like you're sleeping. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Taking selfies in the kitchen does not make you a model. Okay.
You don't have to pay a lot to get a lot. At Cricket Wireless, plans now start at $30 a month, monthly taxes and fees included. And we have more 4G LTE coverage than T-Mobile or Sprint. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do, you know that there are.
Stop! With that box, you'll be the first to win PlayStation VR. Player 1. Soon, it spreads like wildfire. Humanity becomes so plugged in, we never see them coming. That's why I was sent back to stop you.
Oh, hey, I won.
Right.
The future of gaming starts at Taco Bell. Grab any $5 box and you can be one of the first to win PlayStation VR.
Hi! Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Spread sunshine all over the place. And put on a happy face.
Well, the Giants are 3 outs away from their 11th consecutive postseason elimination game win. And it's Derek Law who will try to hammer out those final 3 outs. He, with 1 career save, is given the chance to shut it down here in the 9th. Bryant, Rizzo, and Zobrist for Chicago. Look out.
Well, we saw the energy he displayed last night. You have to temper it in this situation. You can pitch with emotion, but you cannot allow that emotion to get the best of you when you're counting outs.
Just in case, Javi Lopez is up in the bullpen for San Francisco.
And what I mean by that, Matt, is the role you're normally in, you're conducive for it. You're used to it. Now all of a sudden you get an opportunity and you start thinking, I'm going to get 3 outs. I get 3 outs, that's a save. We go on and I'll be doing my thing on the mound. That's the area you got to be careful of.
And a base hit for Chris Bryant. Leadoff hitter aboard here in the top of the 9th.
Well, that'll be 1 and done.
So Law loses Bryant, and Bruce Bochy makes what may be the first of a couple of ninth-inning pitching changes. We'll be right back.
Hey, you're the...
I used to ask if you could hear me now, but I switched to Sprint.
I switched too.
Great.
Have you seen all the whining from Verizon?
I think Verizon the Goliath is panicking. People are switching to Sprint. All these networks are great now. People are tired of overpaying.
Sprint cut my rates by 50%.
Sprint's network covers nearly 300 million people, and their network reliability is within 1% of Verizon. Can you hear that?
Switch to Sprint and save 50% on most current Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rates.
Away. Away is the smell of victory. And the smell of burgers. Away is always having home field advantage, even when you're miles away from home. Find your Away for a dealer in the RV that's right for you. Visit GoRVing.com.
Is that iced tea?
Nope, it's lemonade.
Is that iced tea?
Lemonade.
Iced tea?
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade. Read it.
Okay.
Delicious.
Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico.
It's lemonade, man.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Maui, shapeshifter, demigod of the wind and sea, let's save the world.
I'm not going on a mission with some kid. Did not see that coming.
It's Maui time!
The ocean chose me for a reason.
I could watch that all day.
Come on!
Disney's Moana. Thanksgiving in 3D. Rated PG.
It will be a big day of postseason baseball on FS1 on Thursday. Pre-game coverage for the Dodgers and Nationals starts at 4 Eastern. And then Game 5 between LA and Washington at 5 Eastern, followed by Game 5 between the Cubs and Giants, if necessary, Thursday at 8:30 Eastern. And we say if necessary, that caveat is required because the Cubs have come back many times before. 7 wins when trailing in the 9th inning or later this year. The pitching change brings a postseason hero in for San Francisco. Javier Lopez in the postseason as a Giant has limited left-handed batters to a 4 for 33 line. He's the only active player that can claim 4 World Series rings.
And this is what Bruce Bochy has been known for. One batter appearance out of his relievers.
Rizzo lays off a good take to make it 2-1. Anthony Rizzo in previous meetings with Lopez 2 for 9 with a couple of strikeouts. The switch hitter Ben Zobrist waits next. Matt Moore went the first 8 for San Francisco and was brilliant tonight. It's now 3 balls and a strike to Anthony Rizzo. Just awfully tough on left-handed batters.
Yeah, just when you think you're going to see a fastball or a ball you can elevate, he goes the other way.
Full count to Rizzo, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first with nobody out, and time taken.
I'm a little surprised that Bryant has stayed at first base. They basically have played away from him, giving him the opportunity to get a big lead. You see Belt behind him.
Ball 4. And the Cubs bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out.
That should be it for Javier Lopez.
Well, Sergio Romo is hot. And Bruce Bochy is going to call on his once again closer. The slider specialist is summoned to try to get the final 3 outs tonight.
Upgrade season's here. I got my new iPhone 7 from Sprint.
Sprint? I'm hearing good things about the network.
All the networks are great now. We're talking within a 1% difference in reliability of each other. And Sprint saves you 50% on most current national carrier rates. And if you got 1% more haircut than me today, would you really pay twice as much?
No, I wouldn't.
Copy that.
Switch to Sprint and get iPhone 7. Plus, save 50% off most current national carrier rates. Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much.
Woo! Over there's good.
So how much longer do you think this will take?
I'll over-explain the process, then give you an unrealistic timeline.
I'll nod in agreement so my wife thinks I understand what you're saying.
I look forward to questioning your every move.
Okay, well, I'll leave your house in shambles and disappear for 6 months.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone said what they meant? The Citi Double Cash Card does. It lets you earn double cash back, 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. The Citi Double Cash Card. Double means double.
Heineken Light makes it okay to flip another man's meat.
No. You never flip another man's meat.
Award-winning Heineken Light is the best light beer you've ever tasted.
That's true. Can I have one?
Can I flip your meat?
No.
Suit yourself.
All right, we're going to take you for the tour. First floor, bun. Second floor, 2 patties. Third floor, penthouse, 6 strips of bacon, sesame seed roof. Sunset.
Try the new Bacon King with a half pound of beef and 6 strips of crispy bacon. It's truly the Bacon King, only at Burger King.
What if your new neighbors
We're the Joneses.
weren't who they said they were?
Our neighbors are spies. We gotta get the kids. We gotta get my mom.
Don't bring her into this. We said twice a year, Christmas and Easter.
This is a national security situation. We need your help. Ready?
I'm ready.
Hello, sweetie. You know the cookies are for both of you.
Just flip the cookie!
We don't get out often, so we like to make the most of it.
Keeping Up with the Joneses. Rated PG-13.
The Cubs have brought the tying run to the plate with nobody out here in the top half of the 9th inning. Some comeback facts. Their largest comeback entering the 9th was exactly the 3-run deficit they're faced with tonight. That is in Cubs postseason history. That happened back in 1986. And it is Sergio Romo for the time being. Though there are 2 up behind him getting hot in a hurry in the Giants bullpen. Ben Zobrist, the batter.
And this is the problem of not having a lockdown guy to come in the 9th inning, and you're mixing and matching the rhythm, trying to come in and get one guy out at a time, the previous guys. You just don't feel the rhythm as you would if you started the inning knowing you're going to go until you either get it done or don't get it done.
Just to clarify, that 3-run 9th inning comeback story we posted a moment ago, that's a major league postseason number, not just Cubs franchise history. The 1-1. Not a lot of previous experience between Ben Zobrist and Sergio Romo. There's 1 plate appearance. Zobrist 0 for 1 against the veteran Giant closer. Bryant and Rizzo aboard. Zobrist lays off again. 3 balls and a strike.
Great discipline, because you know the ball's going to be coming to you if he throws the slider. He tries to backdoor it, misses. His sinkers have been low. So you think knees and above and look for a ball coming into you, and then you can let it go.
The 3-1. Lined into right field. It's a 2-run ball game with nobody out in the ninth.
See, and that's exactly what Zobrist did. They haul it back. He stayed off the low sinkers. He waited for one that came up above the knees, and you saw exactly what he was able to do. He was ready, he turned and burned on it. And the Cubs are saying, not so fast. Dave Righetti going out to talk to the Giants. I guess you can say now closer, and Romo.
Hunter Strickland and Will Smith are ready to go in the San Francisco bullpen. Joe Madden's getting his closer up, and Joe's going to pinch hit here for Addison Russell. A guy who drove in 95 runs during the regular season is being pinch hit for, and now Bruce Bochy's going to come out and counter with a move of his own. Not before he has a little word or a question with Todd Tichenor, the third base umpire. So Joe waited for Madden, or rather Bochy waited for Madden to play his hand, and now the Giants counter, or the wheels are turning. Tying runs on base with nobody out, top of the ninth. We'll be right back.
What is that?
Man, I don't know. Ask Google.
Professor Langdon, we need your help.
Our population is out of control. The Inferno virus will be carried to every corner of the earth. Half the people will die.
He created a plague. We took a package from his pocket. Look, it's a clue.
This map, it's a trail. Florence, Istanbul.
We have 48 hours.
Today is our rebirth.
If I can break the code, we can stop this.
Inferno, rated PG-13.
Liberty Mutual stood with me when I was too busy with the kids to get a repair estimate.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, with Liberty Mutual, all I needed to do to get an estimate was snap a photo of the damage, and voila.
Voila. I wish my insurance company had that. Wait, hold it, boys. There's supposed to be 3 of you. Where's your brother? Where's your brother? Hey, where's Charlie? Charlie?
You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Well, a flurry of moves here with the tying runs on base. Joe Madden showed Chris Coughlin as a pinch hitter. So Bruce Bochy made a move for the left-hander Will Smith. After that move was announced, Madden went back to his bench and tabbed Wilson Contreras to swing the bat. A much better matchup for Chicago, as Contreras hit .311 against left-handed pitching in his inaugural season in the big leagues. And he's got the tying runs out there with nobody out here in the ninth. It started with a Bryant single. Rizzo walked. Zobrist doubled in a run. One and one.
Well, that's what you're going to see out of Smith. The curveball looks like it rolls in there, but has tremendous spin. And Contreras, he's done his one at bat with curveballs where he has gotten a hit, put it in play. A double.
Will Smith was actually stingier against right-handed hitting during the regular season. Back up the middle and through. Rizzo scores. Here's Zobrist, and the Cubs have tied it here in the ninth.
We'll make that 2 for 2 now, Matty. Off of curveballs. He stayed right there with the pitch and took it right back up the middle. And this series continues to absolutely blow me away.
24-year-old rookie Wilson Contreras, who didn't even get to big league Chicago until midseason, has just tied it here in the ninth, and he represents the series winning run. Hayward bunting. Smith will go to second. They cut down the lead man. Throw to first is offline. Hayward's on his way to second. The go-ahead run in scoring position now.
Well, this bunt was way too hard. An easy double play, and he just pulls it. Crawford trying to hurry up because Hayward can flat out fly for his size. And you see him pull the ball right there, and Belt couldn't get off the bag in time.
One out, go ahead run at second, and here comes Bruce Bochy. He's got Hunter Strickland hot. It's Javier Baez and David Ross scheduled for Chicago, a pair of right-handed hitters. And Bruce Bochy is going to make another change. A brand new story, all tied at 5 in the ninth inning. Momentum on the side of the visitors.
Heineken Light makes it okay to flip another man's meat.
No. You never flip it. Can I have one?
Can I flip your meat?
No.
Suit yourself.
All right, we're going to take you for the tour. First floor, bun. Second floor, 2 patties. Third floor, penthouse, 6 strips of bacon, sesame seed roof. Sunset.
Try the new Bacon King with a half pound of beef and 6 strips of crispy bacon. It's truly the Bacon King, only at Burger King.
Camping World's model year-end closeout event is going on now. Don't miss your chance to save thousands on RV makes and models to fit your lifestyle and budget at Camping World. Like brand new travel trailers with savings up to 45% off. Plus, shop thousands of RV parts and outdoor accessories and RV service available nationwide. Now is the time to buy at Camping World's model year-end closeout event. Visit your local Camping World Supercenter or shop campingworld.com to save today.
Meeting people is my life. I had to be careful how wide I would open my mouth because I was embarrassed to show my teeth. It was time to do something for myself that was going to be permanent.
The Clear Choice one-day approach is making dental implants a reality for people all over the country who suffer from missing or failing teeth.
I felt like I was the most important person on earth to them.
Bill came in, bad teeth, discomfort, pain. We needed to get him into a smile that he felt confident in. We have expertise that you might not find anywhere else, all in one location.
The next day, I had a new smile. Couldn't wait to show some folks. It's amazing what a smile can do for a person.
Discover why this is so much more than another dental procedure. It's a true life changer. With over 30,000 new smiles and counting, we're lifting spirits and confidence all over America. Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
I'm eating corn on the cob. I had the best smile I'd ever had in my life.
Call Clear Choice today.
A top of the ninth inning that is turning into a nightmare for San Francisco. They are on their 5th pitcher of the inning, and there's only one away. It's a double switch that brings Gorkys Hernandez and Hunter Strickland in. Javi Baez, not one to get cheated with a huge swing and a miss, 0-1.
Yeah, I was going to say this is power against power, but I would hesitate to say he even has to throw Baez a fastball with the slider and the big swing you saw right there. He was trying to hit it to the glove beyond the left field stands.
0-1 to Baez, who's 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, both of those innings you were talking about started with a walk. You have to make them earn it in the ninth. There's something psychological about getting a free pass to start the inning, and that's what the Cubs been able to do. And a big walk in the eighth inning for the Giants last night. Bryant gets a base hit, but the walk also that comes into play. Any walk in the ninth just absolutely makes the other team feel like that gift has been given to them.
Strickland in front, 0-2. Trying to keep that go-ahead run at bay. Baez singles back up the middle. Hayward's being waved around, and Chicago has taken a 6-5 lead.
I am surprised at the pitch selection. I've said it before, so it isn't like I'm saying it afterwards. This is power against power, but it should have been slider, slider, slider. These young players for the Cubs are fearless and don't give up any inch to their competitors. And the craziness continues for the Cubs in a temporary lead.
Here's David Ross. About 20 minutes ago, that oh no feeling was squarely in the visitors' clubhouse. The Cubs thinking about going home for a game 5. We were talking about John Lester preparing to make a big start on Thursday. But 4 in the top of the 9th inning against a Giant bullpen that has been the Achilles heel of the team down the stretch has put the Giants 3 outs away from elimination. Did not think we'd need to talk about who'd hit in the bottom of the 9th about a half hour ago. But San Francisco will have Gorkys, Hernandez, then the top of the order, Span and Belt. Against that guy, Aroldis Chapman. Ross sends it on the ground to Panic to Crawford for 1. They get the double play, but the Giants have some work to do. 4 in the top of the 9th inning. The Cubs are 3 outs away from punching their ticket to the National League Championship Series. Last night, Chicago came up big. A late rally fell just short. Chris Bryant hit a game-tying home run. Tonight, Chicago has broken through against the Giants bullpen again. To the bottom of the 9th in a 1-run game.
I've had a wonderful time tonight.
Me too.
Call me tomorrow?
I'm going to send a vague text in a couple days that leaves you confused about my level of interest.
I'll wait a full 2 days before responding.
Perfect. We're never going to see each other again, will we?
No, no.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone said what they meant? The Citi Double Cash Card does. It lets you earn double cash back. 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. The Citi Double Cash Card. Double means double.
Heineken Light makes it okay to flip another man's meat.
No, no, no. You never flip another man's meat.
Award-winning Heineken Light is the best light beer you've ever tasted.
That's true. Can I have one?
Can I flip your meat?
No.
Suit yourself.
K&N high-flow air filters, designed to increase horsepower with up to 50% more airflow.
Is it possible to engineer a feeling? To create a design that moves you before you even get in, and craft an interior that transports you before you go anywhere? It is when it's designed for you, the driver. The new Mazda 6.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything.
Even a romantic rodent.
A romantic what?
I'm a sucker for proposals. And we covered it, April 26, 2014. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Well, the Chicago Cubs were 3 outs away from having to play a Game 5 in Chicago on Thursday night. But 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning has given them a chance to close out this series here. And it's given Aroldis Chapman a chance at redemption. Back in the more comfortable environs of a 3-out save opportunity. It is Gorky Hernandez leading things off for San Francisco. Hernandez, Span, and Belt as you take a look at some of the defensive changes for Chicago. One and one. So Wilson Contreras in left. Javi Baez moves from second to short. Ben Zobrist from left to second. And those are the changes that bring on Aroldis Chapman in the ninth. A ball and 2 strikes.
Well, all he does is average 100 miles an hour, which league average is 93. So that in and of itself tells you how hard it is to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, coupled with the fact that he reaches out at 6.7 feet. So his release point is going to feel like it's right on top of you as a hitter.
And the Giants are down to their final 2 outs in the 2016 season. An absolutely amazing turn of events in the top half of the ninth by a team that we should not have been in the least bit surprised to have pulled it off.
I'm basically surprised about everything that's happened the last 2 nights.
Matt Moore absolutely dominated for 8 innings tonight. 10 strikeouts, left the Giants in fine shape. Here's Denard Span now. Did all he could do, but 5 Giant relievers. And 4 runs later in the 9th inning, and it's Chicago that's 2 outs away from their 2nd consecutive National League Championship Series. One and one. Denard Span has had a couple of great nights. A double and a triple yesterday. 2 more hits, an RBI, and a run scored tonight. I mean, how do you dial up for 102 on the corner like that?
No, you can't. Every hitter's got his own radar gun in his mind. In other words, timing mechanism to determine how quickly they have to fire. And right now, when you stand up there, you can only imagine you're trying to show the Chapman that you don't have fear or that you can't catch up to it. And that's what most of the guys can't do, is catch up to 102.
And the Giants are down to their final out tonight. If Chapman finishes business here, this 4-run 9th inning comeback in a clinch game for the Cubs would be the largest such win in postseason history. Brandon Belt, the last chance for San Francisco tonight.
Fastballs up would give Brandon Belt. real issues. His only chance is to connect on a fastball down.
Boy, the Cubs are furiously trying to reposition Bryant, Baez, and Zobrist, backing them way up the middle. A ball and a strike to Brandon Belt.
That pitch, if that pitch wasn't in, that would have been the pitch he had a chance to drive. You see where this pitch ends up going. It's just a little bit too far in. He tries to do his best to pull his barrel in and hands in, but he actually needs something middle away and use Chapman's power. Anything up the path of Belt's bat, I don't think can get to it.
Aroldis Chapman has not thrown the pitch under 100 miles an hour. Another one at 101. And the Cubs are a strike away from moving on in the postseason. The San Francisco Giants have not lost a postseason elimination game since Game 4 of the division series against the Marlins in 2003. And Belt not going away without a fight.
No, he did a great job battling on that pitch that was up. See that pitch up, ties him up.
And the Chicago Cubs are moving on to the National League Championship Series. Visiting fans raising the W. Back-to-back NLCS appearances for the winningest team in baseball this year. And for the San Francisco Giants, they simply ran out of even year magic. Too much gas from Aroldis Chapman. And too much Chicago Cubs comeback willpower tonight. 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning. The biggest 9th inning comeback in a postseason clinch game in Major League history. I mean, the swing of emotion in the final inning tonight. The Cubs were 3 outs away from having to defend home turf and send this back to a Game 5 at Wrigley. 4 runs and a half hour later, and they're headed back to the National League Championship Series. Ken Rosenthal standing by on the field.
Ben, congratulations. Thanks. Giants have had trouble in the 9th inning for quite some time now. They had trouble last night. Down 3 runs. What was the feeling in the dugout entering that inning?
Well, shoot, you know, they played us so tough the last couple games. You know, we were just trying to scratch and claw, do anything we could to get base runners on. When KB got it going, and then Riz walked, you know, you just kind of had a feeling something good was going to happen. So, you know, we just put good at-bats together, and good things ended up happening.
Knowing how resilient the Giants are, how important was it to close it out tonight and avoid going back to Wrigley for Game 5?
Well, it's big. You know, it seemed like they had all the momentum the last 2 games. And, you know, if they had won this game, they would have still had the momentum going back to Wrigley. We still would have been confident, but you don't want to get in that situation with all the momentum on their side, you know, even if we are going back home. But, you know, that's why this win is so huge. You know, we never quit, and we aren't stopping now.
You played on a World Series team with Tampa Bay. You played on a World Series team with Kansas City. Is this a World Series team?
Well, shoot, yeah. I mean, we believe that. You know, that's why we're playing. So you still got to execute. You still got to do the job. And we were able to do enough this series to get the win against a really great team over there. You know, they never quit either. And they've proven that these elimination games, they tend to win them. You know, so for us to do this in this stadium with these fans, you know, they cheer hard for their home team. You know, so for us to be able to quiet them there in the 9th and hear the Cub fans, you know, it was nice.
Ben, congratulations. Matt, back to you.
Thanks.
All right, Kenny, thanks. Ben Zobrist had a big RBI double as a part of the 4-run 9th inning rally, and 5 Giants relievers, John, they couldn't get it done to protect a 3-run lead.
Yeah, they tied the game up before there was even an out made, and the one out that could have been made was turned at second and then thrown away, and what ended up to be a bunt to sacrifice. Hayward gets a second, scores on the base hit by Contreras. Look, some things you can't run from, and the one thing the Giants weren't able to run from was their bullpen was not a strength down the stretch. Bruce Bochy tried everything he possibly could, and it just didn't work out in what would be an improbable game that the Cubs came back to win.
The Cubs team that clinched a division crown way back on September 15th. They had to stay sharp down the stretch. They took the first 2 games of this series and then came to San Francisco, watched the Giants get all kinds of momentum with the extra innings thriller last night. San Francisco was 3 outs away from forcing a Game 5, but it's the Cubs that are moving on in the postseason. Much more post-game coverage to come. We send it to Kevin Burkhardt back in our Los Angeles studios. KB, take it away.
All right, Matt, thanks very much, and welcome to our studios here in Los Angeles. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Wow, we were walking into the studio and all saying, oh boy, well, you know, the Billy Goat, the whole thing. What happened, Frank? An amazing comeback by the Cubs tonight.
You know, a very determined Cubs team. They really wanted to win. Once Matt Moore was out of the ball game, they felt they could easily score runs on the Giants bullpen, who's below average this year. After we've seen those guys dominate in the postseason in the past, it's not the same bullpen crew. The Cubs took advantage of the bullpen.
We're going to look at pictures here as we talk. What's going on the scene at AT&T Park? Cubs getting their shirts, a little celebration at the mound. Pete, this was, I mean, this was pretty special. I mean, they 4 runs.
An hour ago, the Cubs were in trouble. They looked like they were in trouble when they panned in the dugout. That was a stinko bullpen, man. 5 pitchers can't get it. They give up 3 runs for they get an out in the inning, and they can't complete a double play on the bunt. They didn't deserve to win. That's the worst collapse I've seen in a long time for a bullpen playing for what they were playing for.
Did you say stinko?
Stinko.
I think you did. Hey, you know the bottom line is though, like,
you know what that means, Alex?
No. Yeah. Frank, you know what that means?
Bad.
Didn't play too well, huh?
Not good. You know
What'd you think of that bullpen?
You know, it was a tale of 2 stories. I mean, watching this game, the Cubs were basically sleepwalking for 8 innings. And you can see it in their faces. They were a different team. The minute Matt Moore came out of the game, they lit up. They had better at-bats. They started swinging at strikes. They didn't chase. And for me, Pete, the key at-bat of that inning was Zobrist laying off a couple very close sinkers, get into a 3-1 pitch, and nail a double down the right field line.
Well, Matt Moore had 120 pitches, right? Okay, and the 8th inning got him 1-2-3. Why didn't he go back out there? He struck out 10. He was in complete control, wasn't he, Kevin?
Look, you're asking me. I mean, I guess we were talking about the same thing. I don't get it. And the thing is, if you had Chapman back there, okay, you're going to go. Their bullpen has been the worst bullpen in the league, bar none, the entire year. So I'm not sure. I mean, Matt Moore threw 133 pitches in a game against the Dodgers. I don't get why he took him out. And guess what? They paid for it. That has been their Achilles heel all year long. But we'll celebrate the Cubs as they go on to the NLCS. We'll keep going back to the field like we will right now. Ken Rosenthal with one of the heroes, Wilson Contreras.
What was going through your mind when you stepped to the plate in the ninth?
I was trying to have a good at bat. I didn't try to do too much. I just was going to get my pitch to hit. I swung the first one, and I didn't realize that we was coming back with a curveball. Doing my normal swing. Thanks God that I hit a base to tie the game.
All right, now during that inning, when did you start to think, okay, we're going to get this?
I mean, I was positive of the whole game. I was waiting for my opportunity. I was sit down, relax. I was trying to wake up the team. But like I said before, we never quit. We play the 27th now. That's what we did today. That's why we are successful.
What was it like on the bench when you guys got the lead?
Oh my God, we get crazy because we wanted to win this match so bad. Now we got to keep on to the next series.
Last question, Javi, what do you say?
Amazing, amazing. Everybody loves Javi.
Thank you, Wilson. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Yeah, I would too, because Baez was ridiculous in this series. I mean, obviously, he had the game-winning hit. He had the big homer that won the game in Game 1, multiple great defensive plays. I want to go back just to the mindset, though, Alex, okay? So we're talking about Matt Moore, who was dominating the game, should have never come out, but he comes out. You've got 2 hits to that point. What are you feeling like before that inning even starts in the Cubs dugout?
Well, actually, you're looking in their dugout to see what Bruce Bochy's going to do, and you're hoping you see a handshake, a hug, and if you do, you start talking around. You say, hey, Frank, Pete, here we go. Here's our opportunity. You don't know whether you're going to make the comeback, but you certainly know that you have a chance.
Well, they had 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Okay, so that's right where the Cubs want to be. But I wonder what Matt Moore would never know, because he pitched a tremendous ball game. 2-hitter for 8 innings, and he's not there at the end.
You know, the strange thing was he wasn't even sweating. He was sitting there watching the ninth. You had to feel bad for him, but he wasn't even icing his arm.
You know, I don't know that there's so many storylines here if you look at the Cubs, but you know, what do you think they're feeling right now, Frank? I mean, you know, again, you go from potential, oh boy, we're going back to a Game 5 do or die at Wrigley, can't lose in the first round, to boom, huge comeback. Here we come, NLCS.
It's huge relief, but that confidence is really, it's got to be sky high at this moment. This team won 103 games this year. They know how to win. This is a different Cubs team. The character's totally different. They believe they're going to be world champions this year, and that's the difference than anything they've ever done in the past. I really think this team's going to win the World Series. I've said it over and over and over. I've watched them a lot this year. They got the goods to win the World Series.
Did you believe that, though, in the middle of this series? Did you start to distrust that theory?
Not at all. I thought the Cubs would win. I thought not either 4 or 5. I thought the Cubs would get this done. This team is a very, very special team. From the manager to the closer now to the 1 through 9 in that lineup, this is a special team. That bullpen they got is very, very, very good. The difference is with the Giants this year, they had to lock down bullpens in all the years they've won the World Series. This year, they have great starters, bad bullpen, and it hurt them tonight.
If that's the case, keep your starter in there. If you don't have a good bullpen, don't go to it.
Well, simple, 120 pitches, Pete. I mean, the guy did have Tommy John surgery 2 years ago. You're right, he did do 133 against the Dodgers, 120 tonight. Sometimes you're like, hey, maybe we can get 3 outs of the bullpen. No Santiago Casilla. He used to be the difference maker. I guess he's injured. I saw him on the bench in the 9th inning. He's been locked down for the last few years, but they had to go back to old man Romo, because this guy has been so great for them. But the guy's older now. The breaking ball is not the same.
What did he do last night when he came in against Bryant?
He gave up a home run.
He gave up a home run.
Hey,
so
you know
you're going to bring him in to face Bryant to lead off the inning?
Give credit. I mean, you know, the Cubs obviously. I mean, 4 runs. Take historical perspective. 1986, there were 3 comebacks of 3 runs in the 9th or later in that playoff series, right? Mets, Astros, Mets, Red Sox, Angels. Since then, none until tonight with 4 runs in the 9th inning. Alex, you've been here. Champagne celebration. Moving on. Take us inside that and what these guys are feeling and thinking right now.
You know, they're very happy. I think there's more of a sense of relief. Look, when you win 103 games, it's win it all or bust. Right?
Yeah.
I think they've gotten to that point. But I want to take a step back and think about all of this starts at the top. In 2009, Tom Ricketts and his family buys the Chicago Cubs. They buy for around $245 million. In 2011, he hires Theo Epstein, and he brings Jed Hoyer with him. And then they hire Joe Madden. And then Joe Madden and Theo come out and get John Lester. To me, you draw a straight line, and you call that the 4 horsemen. That's the new era. And the culture shift in 5 years since Theo's gotten there, I've never seen that before. So hats off to that whole organization.
Well, they built that team, Kevin. And I have to say right now, regardless of who they play. I knew they're going to play either Washington or the Dodgers. They got to be favorites to win the World Series right now. I mean, they had a great year, 103 wins. They come back in this series like tonight. I mean, they got to be sky. The people in Chicago, they were down here an hour ago. Now they're up here all of a sudden. They love this team, and this team is a real good baseball team, and they got heart.
And back what Alex was saying, Theo built this team right. They got some of the best young talent in baseball. This is not going to be a short ride. Believe it or not, this team's going to be here to stay for a minute.
Well, they still got some work to do.
They got a lot of work to do, but what I'm saying is they're very, very talented. This is not luck. This is like what you think it is.
No,
this is a very good ball team. When they brought in Zobrist, he was a missing piece. Leadership, big hits. You saw it again tonight. He did with the Royals last year against the New York Mets. Once again, Ben Zobrist is one heck of a player, and Joe Madden knows him very, very well from Tampa.
That's true. You know, the reality, too, is we talk about all these fun media stories, right, with the Billy Goat and the Black Cat in '69 and obviously Bartman. And the players say, oh, we don't. The players know it, right? So, I mean, maybe when you look at the series, like Travis Wood coming out of the pen, hitting a home run, a 4-run comeback in the ninth, maybe the players start to think, all right, maybe this is the Cubs here. I mean, does that have anything to do with it, you think, in the minds here?
Look, when you were watching that game today, every player is probably thinking about 1908. I know the fans were. But one of the things, again, that Theo's done is he has all these great young players, and it's been the perfect merger between big data and sabermetrics and these quality, great free agents, like Frank said, Ben Zobrist, David Ross. You think about John Lester, guys that have already won before. I think that helps get over that obstacle a little bit.
And then trades, like bringing in Chapman, obviously, who had a nice redemption game for him tonight. Let's go back to AT&T. Let's listen, let's watch. Cubs are celebrating. We'll get more interviews from Ken Rosenthal from the winners, too. Let's take a listen.
They're bottles, just bottles.
Well deserved, man.
Oh, yeah.
They earned it.
Yep.
They got plenty of days for that to play again.
Yeah, they got plenty of days to wash those clothes.
I hear nothing but bottles in there. That's a great sound when a comeback like that. This team, man, I'm telling you, they're confident.
I don't know what you could say about David Ross, his clubhouse leadership, the swan song of a retirement year where he was ultra productive, his defense. He did it all tonight, and he's with Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, David. You just told me you need a break. Why is that?
Because I'm exhausted. I was a grinder of a game. I mean, the last 2 games here have just been long and grind. I mean, typical playoff stuff, but that team doesn't give away an out, and our guys are battling and just, you know, trying to get through the game and keep us close. And because I know what this team's capable of. When you're catching, you're just like, every run counts, every run matters. No matter whether you're down 2, 3, 4, they got a chance to come back. And I credit these guys, they stayed focused and kept having their at-bats, and you saw what happened there at the end.
This is a pretty raucous celebration. Is it that much more sweet because of how you did this at the end?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're up 8 in the ninth with Chapman coming in, it's not really as exciting because you already know you got to lock down. But to come back from 3 down late against a really good ball club says a lot about the character of this group that I knew all year, but it just showed the world that.
David, your young players, Contreras in the ninth, right. Baez in the ninth, Baez the whole series.
I mean, Willie coming off the bench. First of all, Javi's been our guy the whole series. Him and our pitchers have been swinging the bat the best, and KB. But you know, Wilson is the one that amazes me. Sitting around the cold weather here on the bench, kept cheering the team on. Comes up with a humongous knock. Get those guys in and put us on the board. And can't say enough about these young guys. They're so talented. You see it. What about the plays on defense these guys are making last night and tonight? Just it's an amazing group, and it's fun for me to be a part of it.
David, congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks. Back to you.
You have to say it was one of the best 4-game series you'll see. I mean, every game was electric. Every game had some unbelievable plays. David Ross, you mentioned free agent pickups by Theo Epstein. Can you put into words what a guy like that has meant this year?
Yeah, I mean, look, David Ross is a manager in the waiting, right? I mean, Joe Madden leans on him. David is a guy that polices the clubhouse, keeps everyone accountable. And he's one of those guys, again, he brings a lot more value than what you just see out there. And he had a terrific series. And then he plays pitch and catch every 5 days with Our boy John Lester.
Yeah, exactly. Not bad for David Ross. The oldest catcher ever hit a home run in the postseason.
I mean, he runs the game. I mean, is it coincidental why there's so many managers in baseball or former catchers?
No.
David Ross is going to be right there when he wants to try to become a manager someday. He'd make a great manager someday. Right now, he's worried about getting to the World Series and winning it.
Yeah, no doubt. And Frank, we'll talk about this because we touched on Anthony Rizzo in the pregame show. He had a couple big at-bats, including in that 9th inning. We'll get to him in a second. But now we hear that Joe Madden is standing by with Ken. Oh, hold on. Ken's corralling Joe Madden. So let's talk about Rizzo then. Okay. Came in an awful slump, was 0-13 this postseason so far. Big walk in the 9th inning. He also had a base in this game. It looked like he had some positive developments here.
Looked to me, he got back to the basics. You know, this guy's a great hitter, not a big power hitter. He's line to line, gap to gap, great hitter. Loves to eyeball the ball. He takes his walks. He wasn't doing that for the first 13 bats in this series. Tonight, you saw the real guy. 2 walks, big base hit, much more relaxed. The rest of the team relaxed because he's their glue guy. He's been that way forever. This is a special team. I'm happy to see him get off the schneid because you got to really worry about this team now with everybody contributing.
Well, Joe Madden, even with what happened last night, even with the blown save with Roldis Chapman, didn't seem to panic, and now he's moving on to the NLCS, and now he is with Ken Rosenthal out at AT&T.
Joe, congratulations. First off, the 9th inning. Take me through your thought process, the way you pinch hit for Addy.
KB base hit. KB base hit. Rizzo great at bat, walk. Of course, Zoe's double put a lot of pressure on him. And then with Romo in the game, it was Russell's at bat coming up right after Zobrist. So I didn't like that at all. So we had already Coughlin to Contreras if it happened. If they brought in a lefty, they did. I didn't know if they were going to walk him at all and pitch to Hayward. There was all kinds of crazy stuff. I'll tell you, it was big, the throw to first base on the bunt, because it was not a good bunt, but we'll take it. We got the runner to second. And then, of course, the hit by Javi, et cetera. But we had it all, believe it or not, it was all planned out. That's because of the versatility we have. I mean, there was one point Zobrist was going to play shortstop if we had a hit for Baez, too. So it was all kinds of crazy stuff, but it speaks to the athleticism of our group.
Any trepidation about using Contreras as a pinch hitter in such a big spot?
No. They're here for a reason. I mean, you know, this is one of those what you call growth moments. I mean, when you have young guys like this fulfilling obligations in a sense like that, man, that just bodes well for the future. That's the way I look at it. But they're all here for a reason. They're all going to play, and I'm not afraid to put anyone in. You saw Albert Almora yesterday, the great job he did.
Javi, what can you say about his performance this entire series?
Well, it's good. It's wonderful that the rest of baseball is seeing this, that the fans are. Here's a guy that doesn't play enough to be a Gold Glove only because he's not out there. But who's better? I mean, seriously, among all qualified second basemen, who's a better defender than Javi? Both leagues. I'm going to go and say that. So it's a matter of time before he gets that opportunity. But the at-bats have been better. The foot's on the ground sooner. Just a more cerebral approach.
Last thing, now you can tell us the truth. Coming into this series, how much concern did you have about your opponent?
Honestly, Cueto bothered me a lot. I didn't want to have to face. Did you ever see our numbers against Cueto? They're abysmal. I mean, so I'm thinking about that in the 7th or 8th inning. I mean, we got to go back and try to beat this guy because all of our better hitters have really had a hard time against him. Now, Matty Moore, I've seen Matty Moore good, but not like tonight. Give him a lot of credit. God bless him. He made a nice comeback. His arm's healthy. He was outstanding. And, of course, Bumgarner's Bumgarner, et cetera. But I really didn't want us to have to face Cueto again. I thought that in the first game we beat him 1-0. I did not want it to go 5.
How big is this for the city?
Well, it's huge. I mean, listen, we have so many wonderful fans back there. They're waiting on the moment for so many years. It's great to get back into the championship series again 2 consecutive years now. The biggest thing we just got to hit better. We got to have better at-bats, move the ball more consistently against good pitching. That's what it comes down to. We'll pitch with anybody. We'll catch with anybody. We'll play as hard as anybody. We have a lot of young hitters that we have to make adjustments to get good pitching, and that's going to get us to the final route if we do that.
Joe, congratulations.
Always good to see you, my brother.
Too.
You know, there's a lot of things to say about Joe Madden. We all didn't like him bringing in Chapman for a 6-out save. We said but he does things with conviction. And you know, Frank, tonight, so Russell's up, who's driven in, 85 runs during the regular season, takes him out for Coughlin, then Bochy makes a move. And he's not hesitant to put the kid Contreras up there, and he delivered. And that takes some guts to do.
With this guy, whatever he's selling, the team buys. They play total team baseball with the Chicago Cubs, and it starts with Joe Madden. He put guys in different positions all the time and let them know it's all for the team to win. It's not about individuals over there. It's about team concept, and that's why you've seen them turn around so fast, and it's become so good in baseball within a couple years.
The Cubs have no spectators on the bench because they all know they're going to play because of Joe Madden's style. And that's a good thing for a ball club because you know if you're on that team, you're going to be part of a winning team. And that's why they play the way they do. And there's so many versatile players on that team. It's unbelievable.
You know, playing against him a lot of years with New York and Tampa, you know, he was like a Zen master over there. He's cool as a cat, always smiled, never looked like he had any stress. He was the same way when he was a bench coach for Mike Scioscia. A lot of people said he was the engine with the Angels, and when he left, they missed him tremendously. But one of the things, as far as Joe Madden and his style, he values versatility in players as much as any other manager I've ever seen. He would have loved you because you could have played everywhere.
Well, it shows. Yeah, it does. And I think, you know, he said it with Baez, right? If he played there all the time, he could win a Gold Glove. He's got an MVP in Bryant who bounces around the outfield. And I think it worked for him this series.
I mean, he's not scared not to start a guy, sign a $180 million contract. He's not scared to pinch hit for somebody. He's not scared to ask to start a bunt. He's not scared to do anything. He's running the show.
Not everybody's like that, Pete.
Not everybody's like that.
I've heard from a lot of people he's the most well-prepared manager in baseball.
Yeah.
And I've heard that more than once.
Well, he's getting a chance to shine. And one thing is we're going to get to Anthony Rizzo, who is about to talk to Ken Rosenthal. I just found this from Anthony Masterson, our stat guy. 5 remaining teams in the playoffs. The last team to win a World Series game, the Blue Jays, 93. So we're going to have some new blood.
Wow.
We are going to have some new blood in the World Series this year. We know the Cubs are still alive as they move on to the NLCS. And Anthony Rizzo, big game for him tonight, came out of his slump. He is with Ken Rosenthal.
All right, Anthony, your eyes sting, you're drenched. How's it feeling?
I mean, I thought the first game of this series was the best game I've ever been a part of, but this one has to top it. First, that ball team. First, that club, what they've done in the postseason, their history, and guys stepping up for them like they did. To come back like we did was amazing. In the 9th inning there, we could have very well packed it in, relied on Lester for Game 5, but we don't quit. We never quit all year. And this is amazing, and the boys are enjoying it.
Hey, how important was it not to go to Game 5, to get this done with? And last night it could have been over. Tonight it was over.
Well, I mean, it's good that Lackey got the pitch today, that's for sure. But I mean, the Dodgers and Nationals are going Game 5. They're going to have to burn, you know, their aces. So it's big for us. It's good for us to set up our rotation for next series. And to not to go home and stress about the one-game elimination where anything can happen, it's a big win for the city of Chicago.
Coming into this series, knowing who the Giants are, what did you expect?
I expected exactly what we got. They were going to fight us. We were going to have to beat them any way we could. We beat them by 1 run. We got a couple of runs in the second game. They beat us yesterday in extra innings, and today we fought and scratched and came up there in the night. But their track record speaks for themselves, and what they've done is amazing.
Anthony, congratulations.
Thanks.
Go celebrate.
Appreciate it.
Back to you.
We were about to come on, thanks Kenny, thanks Anthony, we were about to come on and ask where in the world the Cubs offense is, right? They were getting 2 hit through 8 innings, and they really had disappeared this whole series except for their pitchers and David Ross. You see enough, Big Hurt, to think that, all right, maybe they got a little something brewing for the NLCS now?
I think so. I think they got a few days off. They'll come prepared. They're going to pitch well. They're getting back home as soon as possible behind that crowd in Chicago. They'll be ready for anything at this point. Once you eliminate the Giants, who the one team everyone was worried about, this even year once again, I think the Cubs, they're prepared. Joe Madden will have this team prepared and ready to go and try to win a World Series.
We'll see about Rizzo. I mean, everybody thinks he's out of his thing right now because he got 2 walks and a little base hit to center field. Brian only got 1 base hit tonight. So the big guys we expect to hit for the Cubs aren't really tearing it up, are they, Alex?
No, they're not. But you know what, Pete? I thought tonight was a very important night for Rizzo, and I'll tell you why. He started with a walk. He finished with a walk. After the first walk in the first inning, he actually clapped halfway there. So he was starting to feel good about himself. He got a little dunk hit to center field, and then he gave the first base coach a hug, which I like to see that. But he's pound for pound their best player. He plays every day. He plays defense. He's aggressive. It was important for him and Cubs Nation to get him going.
You know, we're seeing the pictures, a lot of Cubs fans still in San Francisco at AT&T Park. I wonder what Wrigleyville is like right about now. I have a feeling that might be...
No pictures?
What's that, Pete?
Dark.
Yeah,
it's dark right now.
Chris Bryant, talked about him. He had the big homer yesterday. He's had some hits. He has a good series, that's for sure. And he now is ready to talk to Ken Rosenthal. Chris Bryant.
Chris, you started it all in the 9th inning with that hit. When did you start to think the game was going to turn?
You know, I think after Zobrist's at bat, I mean, you know, myself and show myself get on base and anything can happen. And Riz worked unbelievable at bat, taking a walk, and then Zobrist obviously working a hitter's count and then getting runners on second and third, and anything can happen there. And I mean, Wilson coming up huge off the bench off a tough lefty, and then Javi coming up huge. I mean, it's the best win I've ever been a part of.
You've had a few good games in this series. You told me this before the game. What was it like just from start to finish here? Because there was a lot going on each game. What was it like playing in this?
I mean, it was intense. I mean, it felt like the momentum, you know, wasn't on our side the whole game. I mean, but luckily you got to play the whole game, 27 outs, and you know, we've done it all year. I mean, coming back in the ninth, we feel really good about it. So just an unbelievable win, and hopefully we can, you know, use some of this momentum going into the next series.
The fact that the Giants have had such problems in the ninth, how aware were you? Well, obviously you're aware of it, but how much did that play into your mindset? Okay, we can do this.
Not at all. I mean, I think the playoffs is different. I mean, guys step up and, you know, but I mean, they have a heck of a staff. I mean, their bullpen, you know, sure they had their struggles, but those pitchers are lights out. They're unbelievable. So, and we realized that, so we got to go out there and work our at-bats, and we did that.
Javi and Wilson, how surprised were you by the way they stepped up?
Not at all. I mean, nothing phases them. I mean, they don't. Javi's been doing all series, making unbelievable defensive plays, and Wilson coming up halfway through the year and doing what he just did off of, you know, Will Smith, who's, you know, I think has one of the best sliders in the game. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Chris, congratulations.
Thanks.
Kenny, Chris, thanks. He's humble. He's likely the MVP, and he played well this series. Hit some big hits, obviously tied the game in the ninth last night, got the rally started tonight. What impressed you the most about Bryant, not only during the season, Alex, but this series? I mean, he was big.
Well, I mean, more than anything, I mean, you hear him speak, and all their young players, I mean, they've done a fantastic job really schooling these kids, but you hear them talk, they're poised, they're talented. But you know what, Frank? I mean, the way they carry themselves, they look and act, and the way even they look in their uniform, like they've been around for 10 years.
These guys are a lot bigger than I thought they were. I mean, he's a big guy, huh? And so is Bryant.
Bryant is 6'5", Rizzo's 6'4".
Those are big guys, man.
Yes,
No wonder they can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
So Larry's 6'5". I mean, they're intimidating to watch when you get close to their on deck circle and watch those guys line up. They're pretty impressive team.
Yeah, that's impressive. The whole thing's impressive. 4 runs in the ninth inning for the Cubs, and unbelievable comeback. What's that, Peter?
It doesn't happen every day, getting 4 in the ninth.
No, especially in the postseason. It hasn't happened anything like it since '86.
It's rough, man.
It's been a long time, and Cubs fans probably feel like, woo, got by the Giants in that even year thing. All right, Cubs president Theo Epstein, the guy who put this all together, he will talk with Ken Rosenthal in a moment. It'll be fascinating to hear his thoughts coming back from getting through this grueling first round. And then the Dodgers trying to stay alive. Clayton Kershaw, could he will them to a Game 5 against the Nats? This was another legendary game at Chavez Ravine earlier. What a playoffs these these National League NLDS have been. But it's celebration time for the Cubs in San Francisco. We'll show you more of that. Interviews coming. Hang with us on FS1. We're back.
Shannon, you may be a Hall of Famer, but Gronk may end up being the best ever. He has over 5,500 yards and 65 spikes, and he's just getting started.
How many?
Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do, you know that there are.
Viagra single packs. So guys with ED can take Viagra when they need it.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
I don't want to overstate things, but I may have just changed the entire world.
Red 97! Set! Red 97!
Did you say 97?
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating.
97%?
Helped by Geico's fast and friendly claim service. Huh.
Oh yeah, baby. Geico's as fast and friendly as it gets.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
The hair on the face of a man is said to be as strong as copper wire. So what's a man to do? How about a razor with blades stronger than steel? The new Gillette Mach 3 is engineered to take on hair this tough. From metal stubble to manly stubble. The new Mach 3 with the world's #1 selling blades. Now starting under $10. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Well, here it is, the final out. Aroldis Chapman with the strikeout, and the celebration is on, culminating the comeback in a wild one. 4 runs in the 9th inning for the Cubs. It looked dead, and it looked like all the wizardry was coming out in Cubs history, going back for a do-or-die game at Wrigley for Game 5, but that was not the case. And instead, they win it, and they win the series. What a series this was, guys. I mean, just incredible. Every game was hotly contested. I mean, really good stuff. And then the big comeback tonight. And as Alex said, the architect of this whole thing, Theo Epstein, who has done it once before with Boston, trying to do it again with the Cubs, and speaking with our Ken Rosenthal moments ago.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now tell me the truth. How worried were you?
I wasn't worried. I was just, we weren't ourselves for 8 innings. You know, we weren't having the kind of at-bats we normally have, and that wasn't us. So, you know, you're starting to think about the possibility of a Game 5 and anything can happen. You got to face Cueto, Bumgarner coming out of the pen. I believe in our guys, but it was just not a great feeling that we weren't playing our kind of ball. And to come back against a team like this with their character and pedigree in their ballpark, you know, they've won 10 straight elimination games. It was incredible performance by our guys in the 9th inning. Hitting before the 9th inning is overrated anyway. Got to do it when it matters, I guess.
Theo, now that you've done this, you've beaten the Giants, kind of slayed the Giant, gone through the experience of last postseason. How much does that help you going forward?
Every little bit of postseason experience matters. You know, we knew last year would help our guys. You know, Addison Russell missed the Mets series last year, so this was huge for him to go through this, and he'll be better next series. But showing the ability to come back in the postseason, huge. I mean, look at that 9th inning. You know, Javi Baez and Wilson Contreras. These guys are young and just cutting their teeth. So that means the world to them. There's something to fall back on next round and hopefully beyond that. So every little bit counts.
Watching Baez, watching Contreras, do you feel almost like a proud father?
Well, first of all, you know, kudos to Jim Henry for bringing both those guys into the organization. He and his guys did a great job, but those two have come such a long way, contributed so much. To see the growth from when they were in rookie ball to where they are now is pretty incredible. Baez, all 3 phases of the game, the series, defense, base running, and his quality of his at-bats. It was just a stellar performance. But, you know, the young guys, the veterans, everyone contributed. It's kind of how we did it all year. So it's fun to see it come to the fore when it mattered most.
Now, you've lived in Chicago long enough now. What would have been the mood of the city if there had been a Game 5?
Would have been really tense, you know, to put it mildly. But I think, you know, contrasting all that history and all the BS, there's a real affection for and connection to this team that I think means more. And so there's just a desire to see us be ourselves, play the kind of ball we can, and we know we'll be all right. And that finally erupted in the 9th inning. That's why we're all celebrating right now.
Theo, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Ken.
That was pretty good. That was pretty real emotional stuff from Kenny with Theo, and even giving credit to former GM Jim Henry was there before, who got some of those guys there. One thing I wanted to correct, said a stat before, people were tweeting me, the 5 teams remaining, last team won a World Series, period, the Blue Jays, not a World Series game, so I wanted to correct that. Okay. But with Epstein, you have to admire it, right? I mean, and you really do. You touched on this, but I mean, he did it with the Red Sox. Coming over here to the Cubs with everything going on with the franchise that really needed a new look. But what do you admire the most about what he's been able to do in a pretty short amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, we really don't have enough amount of time to tell you how much respect I've gained, with Theo Epstein over the years. We had a chance to spend a lot of time together in 2004, and we were both 28-year-old kids. And
yeah.
I remember going to the Four Seasons and literally signing contracts. And I knew at that point how special Theo was. But, to me, he is obsessed with the process and creating a culture, and no one does it better. In many ways, Pete, he reminds me of Pat Riley of the NBA or Bill Belichick in baseball. He used to walk to Fenway Park. Now he walks to Wrigley Field. He spends 18 hours there. He hires great people. He doesn't micromanage, and it's been beautiful to watch.
So that was the point when he was recruiting you. I mean, so you were impressed with how he carried himself and his whole philosophy, I'm guessing.
Well, how much he cared. He's fully invested. He hires great people. He might be the most inquisitive guy in the game, and he collects information as well as anybody. And then he goes back into his office with Jed, with Tom Ricketts, the owner, and they make their decisions.
I know they're worried about winning the World Series right now, but can you imagine how hard his job's going to be in the future to keep all these young players as Chicago Cubs?
Yeah, well, that's for another day, but you're right. They're going to have to, a lot of people are going to pay
That's down the road.
I know it's down the road, but you got to think about it. I guarantee you, Theo's thinking about it.
One thing about his scouts, they've always recruited and continue to bring in great new young talent. The cream of the crop, I don't know how they're doing it. I'm telling you, this team's going to be here for a while, man. They are very, very talented. They're going to lose some of the free agents in the distant future, but, they have a staff that you can count on, and Ricketts has a lot of money. They'll be able to replace those things.
Petey, Theo didn't even get to drink half his champagne. You're already talking about signing all these guys to long-term deals.
That's what happens to a general manager. I mean, this guy, like Alex says, if he's like Bill Belichick and Pat Riley, those guys were always thinking about the future, and this guy's, he's no different than them. He's put together
the life of a GM.
A really good ball club.
A losing manager. He doesn't lose often. As a matter of fact, he had never lost an elimination game with the Giants. Bruce Bochy at the podium. Let's listen.
That's a lot of work he did. At that point where he's at, he did his job, and we were lined up. We had all our guys are set up guys, that everybody there, and he had gone far enough. And I'd like to think you're going to get 3 outs there. We couldn't do it. We had, because of the job he did, we had all the guys set up. We just couldn't get outs.
And to the right.
Did you have a conversation with Matt in between innings about how he felt?
Yeah, we always check with the pitcher, and he did his job. We got to take care of these guys too, and it's it's a lot of work. You like to think you're going to get to 3 outs there, but. Sure, we can look now and say, hey, push them even more, but we had confidence that these guys that we put out there would get outs against that lineup. We could get the matchups that we wanted, and it didn't work out.
I'm not really, remembering we didn't really have a conversation like, hey, how do you feel? Can you get another one? I don't know when I was at 120 or something, but, we have guys, that get the job done, and, this is the way baseball goes sometimes.
Well, Giants bullpen, it was unbelievable. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a pitcher, a batter, and no one could get anyone out. You're talking at one point you had 4 pitchers for 4 batters and nobody out. And that's what you left Matt Moore for. I honestly couldn't believe it. But let's talk about this bullpen. Dontrell Willis, let's bring you in, waiting patiently to talk pitching with us here. This bullpen has been an issue all year long. It's not news, but tonight especially, just couldn't get a single out when they needed it.
Bottom line, they didn't want to get it done. They had the chance. You should be able to get 3 outs. I don't care if you struggled all season long. This is to go and get a shot at another Game 5. And for me, man, they just were not aggressive enough to attack them. And this is a world champion caliber ball club in the Chicago Cubs you're going up against. So you cannot give them any breathing room. The first batter they give them a free pass, and that's all a championship team needs to get a rally. And right there, they just didn't put the foot on the neck and finish the job. And that's unfortunate, but it's definitely been their Achilles heel all season long, and it showed right now.
All right, Dontrell. And so the bullpen fails to come through, fails to deliver, and the Cubs put 4 on them in the 9th. And, you know, I don't know, guys. We talked about it, and I don't want to take away from the Cubs tonight. And certainly the Giants won 3 World Series. Going to make decisions that don't work. But a bullpen that did not get anybody out all year long, and a guy that was dealing, and had a 1-2-3 8th inning. I didn't see it, Frank. I didn't see it.
They were built this year with the great starters 1 through 5, but you got to have a bullpen in October. You guys know that. You've seen what the Royals done with their bullpen last 2 years to get to the World Series. Before they won 3 championships, they had a great bullpen. This offseason, they will rebuild that bullpen. The Giants will be back. That team knows how to win. The Cubs are a different animal right now. They're the best team in baseball at this particular time. They took care of the Giants.
They did.
That's why the managers make the big bucks, to make those decisions.
No question, Pete.
They're tough decisions sometimes.
They are. And the Cubs were pretty amazing. 4 runs in the 9th inning to get the win. There was another incredible game today. It was in Los Angeles, Dodgers and the Nationals, and we've got highlights of this one. This was wild. I promise you, like that whole series has been. Could the Dodgers keep their season alive? Highlights when we come back. But the emotion is with the Chicago Cubs, who have moved on to the NLCS. 4 runs in the 9th, and they take care of the stingy Giants tonight from San Francisco. Stay with us. We're back.
I can do this, but not without you, not without your faith.
He's coming out.
I can assassinate the president.
That's confirmed. He has been hit.
I walked into this hospital, and I want to walk out.
All set?
Killing Reagan, a movie event, premieres Sunday at 8 on the National Geographic Channel.
Have you ever noticed how some people in life seem to get away with everything? We live our lives from an elevated perspective.
You're late.
Time's a relative concept.
Well, I see you have mastered the laws of gravity.
We are the masters of time and space.
And we all drive Jaguars.
The all-new Jaguar F-Pace. For great offers, visit your local Jaguar retailer today.
Sam Darnold and USC take on Arizona. Saturday at 2:30 Eastern on Fox.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma, call now. An estimated $30 billion has been set aside for asbestos victims. You may be entitled to compensation. For your free legal consultation, call 1-800-644-9174. That's 1-800-644-9174.
A father he never knew.
He tried so hard to protect you.
For what? A power he can't imagine.
This is awesome. Off! Off, 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 off! Your father gave you these powers. He sent me to protect you. Suit up! Let's do this. Run faster. So much faster! Come on. No trespassing. Seriously? All caps, Max. Looks pretty serious to me.
Max Steel. In theaters October 14th.
Did you know you can start a $10,000 Gerber Life grow-up plan for your child that will double during age 18 for just pennies a day?
What's more important than your kid?
Call 1-800-417-6057 or go online now for a grow-up plan.
Oh, emotional. David Ross hugging Aroldis Chapman, who closed it out. A 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th after the Cubs scored 4 in the top to complete an incredible comeback and win it and advance to the NLCS. Welcome back to our coverage here on FS1. Been a busy day and a fun day, that's for sure. We've got Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Would you believe there was another unbelievable game? It feels like weeks ago, but it actually was earlier today, and it was in Chavez Ravine. And you're talking about the Dodgers and the Nationals. Dodgers trying to keep their season going, and you've got Clayton Kershaw on the mound. Kershaw had a rough first inning here, guys. He threw 27 pitches in the first. He gave up a run. Looked like the wheels could come off a little bit, but he got out, allowing only a run. And then against Joe Ross, Frank, this is the guy you said had to get going, Adrian Gonzalez.
He's the veteran in this clubhouse. When his offense is doing well, Adrian Gonzalez has a big part to do with it.
So they put the Dodgers in front, and then Kershaw. The theme has been pitchers hitting in the National League playoffs. I mean, has it not?
Sure has.
Unbelievable.
Every pitcher is pitching, he's knocking in runs.
They take a lot of BP nowadays, Pete.
Well, they do. Kershaw going the other way with a double, and then he's on second with 2 outs, and there is Justin Turner, who's been splendid second half. Maybe a weird route by Trey Turner helped it out.
I still don't know how that ball fell earlier today.
I have no idea. It's an RBI. Worth was watching it fall, obviously. So 4-2 Dodgers, and then look at, I mean, how hard is it hitting these shadows, Alex, against Kershaw or anybody?
I mean, it's impossible. You have a shot with a fastball. If the ball spins at all, you just lose it. So it's pretty hard.
Yeah, this is kind of the thing you're having. And Jock Peterson.
Yeah. Kev, let me explain that real quick, if I can.
Please.
When you have shadows, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about, you can see the ball, but you can't see the rotation on the ball. And if you can't see the rotation on the ball, you don't know if it's a fastball, a slider, a curveball, a screwball, whatever kind of pitch it might be. So that's what we're talking about when we say the shadow is in center field and it's dark in home plate.
Oh, makes
you
sense.
Can't see the rotation of the ball.
Pete, big part, we'll talk about that in a second, big part of the game here and good explanation. So Dave Roberts comes out with 2 outs in the 7th. He leaves Kershaw in to face Harper. He thought he struck him out, and then he lost Harper. Harper with a great at-bat, draws a walk. So give credit to Roberts. Said, no, I'm going to leave my ace in. Didn't get the job then he pulls him. And then the bullpen flat out implodes. I mean, implodes. So you got Baez coming in who hits Worth, knocks in a run, and the bases are loaded. You're going to bring an Avalon to get Danny Murphy. Good luck.
This man has been very special last 2 playoffs. If he stays like this, it's going to be hard for the Dodgers to go to Washington and get this win. But I'm ready for Game 5 of this series.
So Kershaw can't. I mean, the 7th inning again, and obviously not his fault. His bullpen does not help him. We go to the 8th. Blake Treinen pitching. He had nobody out, or 2 out, nobody on, with a walk and a hit, and then Chase Utley, former Philadelphia World Series hero.
Pete called him today. It was his key player of the game. Big hit by a great player.
He's got World Series rings, man.
Kenley Jansen going to bring it, Frank. Zip.
You know, both of these guys were frustrated. You saw the closes tonight. They both gave up big runs. Kenley Jansen brought his A game, got the game. 6-5, just like the Cubs game. We had a 6-5 type of night today. It was great baseball all around.
When you look at it, that game was eerily similar to the Cub game, except there were not four runs in the 9th, right? Wow. So the Dodgers stay alive. And some reaction after this game. Let's start with Chase Utley.
You try to treat every at-bat the same way. Obviously, the crowd was into it. We got some guys in scoring position. I was able to sneak one through the infield. But overall, I thought Kershaw did an outstanding job on 4 days rest. Gonzo, the big home run early on. They scratched their way back, made it a great game. It was a good win.
Thankful that we pulled it out. You know, it's